Well, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We're working on the sprayer today. We've got to put a new radiator slash oil cooler in it. It's combined into one unit and it's leaking over here. This is the hydraulic cooler side and it's been leaking for a couple of years. We've been putting it off. And now that we have a heated shop, we decided to fix it. So we started working on this about a month ago and got tied up doing other things. So it's been draining into this barrel for a month. Should be good and empty. We haven't taken the hydraulic hoses off yet, so I'm hoping that when I pull those off, they don't just start dumping oil out. I need to probably have a plan together of how to plug those lines once we pull them off. It's pretty much ready to be pulled. I got a couple bolts on the bottom of the fan shroud yet that are kind of hard to get to. Let's see. They're down there somewhere. Yeah, I think I got to get to them from the bottom. Got to pull these hoses, hydraulic hose there. We got the intercooler off already. The new one comes with an intercooler, which we didn't really need, but whatever. So let's start by getting these bolts out. I think there's just two left for the fan shroud, and then we can go from there. So these two bolts are inside of there. I don't know if you can see them. I can barely see them, and they're covered in oil and dirt and mud, so plus I can't get my hand in there. So this is going to be a challenge. I think they're 1/2 inch. What's this one? Yep, that's a 1/2 inch. Let's see if I can get in there. Well, I'm gonna have to take that petcock out. I don't know who engineered this, but they must have just thought that the radiator would never go bad and nobody would ever have to take it out. Because it's been pretty tough to get into some places to get some bolts loose. Like putting nuts behind where you can't access them. Like just weld the nut in so you can take the bolt out, okay? Make it easy on us. Does that help me out at all? No, it's dripping antifreeze. Perfect. No, that didn't gain me anything. Oh boy. I'm gonna be completely upfront and honest with you. If I manage to get these bolts out, I'm probably not gonna put them back in the new radiator because they'll hold without it, I promise. I think I'm getting it. This is gonna take all day, so we'll see you again tomorrow. Well, that wasn't too bad. So now I should be able to, let's see, should be able to slide this back after I get that line off. Yep, it's separated. Is this the right size? Sweet, well that's loose. Huh, well that wasn't even tight. What in the world? Hope this doesn't leak. It shouldn't because it's higher than the tank, so yep, that'll be good. Shove some rags in there, make sure we don't get any junk. And then I guess I'll take these off while I'm up here. Okay, so wrap this around here, I'll double it up, and zip tie this so that stays clean. Get my fat fingers to work. There we go. Can you just go over there? Go. Okay, that's fine. Next. Is this a 5/16? Shoot, it's a 3/8. Got a 3/8. Also brought a 10mm because I've seen this story before, but it's a 3/8. That's loose. Loosen this little guy. helpful, very. Loosen that some more. Slide you out of the way. There we go. Slide you back. That's out of the way. Will a 14 work? Perfect. We'll just do it this way. We gotta take the fitting out anyway. Alright. Everything on the top side should be disconnected. Alright, we're back in the basement. Let's see, I gotta take this loose. And that should come off. I'm guessing there's going to be some coolant trapped in there, so I should probably have a bucket handy. And then the next thing I got to get at is that line right there. And who knows, it might not even be tight. The top one was just finger tight, not even. So once I get them off, I think there's 4 bolts, and then it should just pull straight up. Why are you so tight? Come on, lid. There we go. Start on this side. Sorry, light. Clamps loose and out of the way. Let's see if I can get these to go big enough. I don't know. Need a bigger pair. Let's try these. I just got to spin it a little bit, yep, to break the seal. And it's leaking, so. How much is going to come out? I wonder if there's a petcock on the engine somewhere that I should drain. Got me a bigger bucket because I have no idea how much is going to come out of here. I don't think it'll be much, but you never know. Whenever I just squeeze this a little bit, it starts to leak. So I don't want to pull it off until it's kind of slowed down. Now it's acting like it is slowing down already. Well, I'm going up top here with a pry bar. I'm going to try and pry the hose off because I can't get a good grip on it back there anywhere. So there might be a waterfall of antifreeze, but we'll clean it up if that happens. I have nothing to pry against. I wish this fan shroud wasn't in the way. Is anything happening down there? There. Now that's off. So this next part I'm a little concerned about. Taking that hydraulic hose off. I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure it's gonna leak. So I don't really have a way of plugging it once I get it off. I might just have to shove it in a bucket and, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to let it drain out because I want to save my oil. I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. You know what I should get? Rubber gloves. There's an idea. Well, I got it loose. It's dripping. Well, I aborted the mission. I got a little bit nervous. It's dripping pretty good, and I'm just afraid once I get that line off, it's gonna just come gushing out, and I'm not gonna have a way of stopping it. So I've got some friends who are mechanics. I'm gonna see if I can get an actual plug, like a service plug or something for it. That way I can just pull it off and shove that in and just stop the flow of oil while we get this out, because it's not gonna be a quick process getting that out and getting the new one in. So it's gonna have to be unhooked for a while. And I'm back. I borrowed these from a buddy. These are like a hydraulic service plug. They're rubber, you shove them in. And he said they work pretty good for sealing off hydraulic hoses, so I'm gonna pop that off. I actually left it drip while I was gone, and now it's not dripping, so who knows, I might not even need these, but better be safe than sorry. I'm gonna pop this off real quick. Okay, this is the hose. See how big of a mess I can make back here. Let me get on the back side of it, so if it sprays out, it doesn't land in my lap. Okay, so I don't know if I explained that very well, but I decided to trace that hose back to the back and unhook it back there, because I was thinking if I pull this off, I'm only going to be able to plug one side, and then all the oil in the cooler is going to leak out. And that would make a mess, I assume. So I got that off, let it run out as much as it could, and then now I'm going to take this hose off here and now see what kind of mess I got. See if I can do this by hand now. Yep. Bucket close just in case. Okay, so the last step on taking this thing out is just to get the 4 bolts out of the bottom. And before I do that, I'm going to take the tractor and put the forks up above there and hook the radiator to it, so that way when I get the bolts out, it doesn't just fall over or whatever. And I should be able to lift it straight up. Let me take a look at this thing, make sure there's nothing else in the way. Yeah, should be 4 bolts. I might take that one out of the box just to look at it and see if there's anything else I'm missing as far as getting stuff unhooked, but it should come straight up. It's got some nice hooks here. I don't have a chain that will fit through here, so I'm just going to use a ratchet strap. That way I can get it nice and tight and snug. That way this is supported while I take those bolts out. Alrighty, let's get this thing strapped up. There, just got a little bit of pressure on it. That'll keep it from falling over. This extra up here. There we go. Yep. There's one. Two. Something just fell. Now where's the 4th one? I'm gonna have to take that out. There's the 4 bolts. Let's take a look up here. Give it a wiggle. Seems like it's loose. I think I am gonna pop this one out of the box and just take a look, make sure there's nothing else holding it. Any ideas what this thing cost? I'll give you a hint. It's a big number. It's got 3 zeros behind it. Okay, so here's the bottom, and it's actually got 3 holes on both sides, so 6 bolts. So that's the front. I gotta find 2 more bolts up there somewhere. Hope I can get to them. Found the other 2 bolts. Got them out. Let's give it a wiggle again. Ah, now it's loose. It should come straight up. Make sure the shroud is out of the way as much as it possibly can. Don't want it getting hung up in the fan. Ah, forgot my light down underneath. It should come straight up. I'm gonna go start the tractor, lift it just a hair, come back, take a look, see what happens. Oh, I don't like that. I gotta go back down. That shroud's getting caught. It'd be nice if this was a 2-piece shroud and I could take the top off, but it is not. So, shut the tractor off and see if I can move it around. I don't really want to, but I think I'm gonna have to take this fan off because the problem is the there's the drain port, and then the bottom where the bottom hose connects to the radiator sticks out, and then I can't push the shroud back. I'm sure you can't see anything, but the radiator hose is right there, so I can't push it back. But if I take the fan off, I'll be able to pull this shroud out. So it's just bolts in the center. I don't know, there's probably 8 or 10 of them. So I'll figure out what size that is and pop that off, and it should make this easier to pull out. Well, might be 1 bolt holding me up. Take them out. The ones that are loose. This one too. There it goes. That wasn't too bad. There was 1 bolt that was real tight, and I was afraid it was going to snap off, but it came out, so that's good. Well, we got a lot of bolts here. Hope we can figure out what's what. This thing is so handy. I love it. You should all go buy one. Now I should be able to take this shroud right up out of here. There. Perfect. This looks like a good spot for it. Now it should come out. You know, that would have been easier if I'd have done that first. Then I could have got to that hose a lot easier. But anyways, let's go lift this thing up. There it is. It's leaking oil everywhere. Oh well. I'll just leave it hang for a while and put a bucket under there so it can drain. There it is. Big old ugly thing. Engine looks kind of naked now. Man, I wish I had a way of cleaning this up. I mean, I guess I could. I just don't really want the mess back here in the shop. I'll have to think on that a minute. Now I gotta get these brushes off the side, and then this piece of foam I think is just glued to the top, but the new one doesn't have it. So I might have to try and peel this off gently and then get some kind of adhesive to stick that back on. I gotta take that fitting out, put in the new one. And this piece of foam just kind of laying in there. That goes in the front. Man, that thing was nasty. You can see where it was leaking. It's full of oil here. the fan's full of oil, and then it blew that oil back all over the engine. Man, it'd be really nice to clean that up. Can't really move it now. I mean, it would run. It's just, well, I guess it wouldn't run because those hydraulic hoses aren't hooked up. You could run it for a short time and not overheat it, but with those hydraulic hoses not hooked up, I won't be able to move. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll clean it up back here. I'm gonna get to work taking these brushes off, and then probably won't do much. Dad had to go take care of some stuff for the township, so I'll probably wait for him to get back tomorrow to put this new one in, but we'll probably just roll this into a part 2 video because this one's probably getting kind of long. So, all right, so it's the next day. Dad's back. We're gonna try and get this radiator put up in here. We took it out of the crate, and it even came with a new AC condenser, which we didn't need. We literally only needed this radiator and hydraulic cooler part, but you had to buy it all as one piece, so that's why it's so expensive.
How's it going in?
It looks like it. That one fought me the whole way. Yeah, it's going. The wrench is right on the front, on the bumper.
Back a little bit.
More or less.
Now, looking at our holes.
We're just trying to get the holes lined up and get this thing
Yeah, we got
mounted. That way we can get the tractor out of here.
They're gonna be fine that way. We gotta go east.
The whole thing.
Yep, by looking at the old holes. Or the old, where it mounted.
I got a pry bar up here. Let me
Get this one up here. I'm missing a washer too.
There might be one in that bucket. I know I dropped something in there. You gotta jam it in between them hoses.
I'm getting the front one, but I don't know how you get the middle one.
All right, we got it mounted. Now we can get the tractor out of here and just hook up the rest of the lines. And I gotta get the fan and the shroud back on. So now we got everything hooked up on the bottom. We got the bottom radiator hose, the bottom hydraulic hose, got the drain back in. So now I can go put the shroud and the fan back on. I gotta remember how I did this. Let's see. I think I had to put the shroud in this. Yep, that's right. And then get this out of the way here. and then slide the fan in front of that. That seems right. Inspect my fan real quick. Yeah, that looks fine. We're having trouble getting these started. Some of these threads are a little messed up, so we're trying to figure out if we can find a metric tap, borrow from somebody to get these cleaned up. We got 3 out of the 4 started on the top. Those ones on the bottom are going to be a pain, because I don't know if you can remember, but it was really hard to get to the middle too. So hopefully they go together. Well, we got everything buttoned back up, except this intercooler tube. Forgot to do that. We're going to leave this line off. This is like an overflow line. Fill the radiator back up here, and we're going to leave this out so it vents the air out. And I have no idea how much it holds because the book doesn't say. So we're just going to start filling it up till it probably comes out of here, and then should be good. Well, we got a little bit of an issue. We're draining some antifreeze back out of it because the water neck right here is leaking. It almost looks like it was painted at one time and then the paint wore off, so I'm thinking that like it's not sealing where the paint is gone and it's leaving a little bit of a gap and it's leaking out. So we're gonna drain it down enough where we can take that off and see if we can clean it up and get it to seal.
Good.
Is it jumping?
She's jumping. We gotta get a clamp.
So we stripped out the clamp, so we're putting a new one on it. And the hose had some paint chunks stuck to the inside because I took it off and spun it to get it out of the way. So if I wouldn't done that, it probably would have been fine. But we're getting a new clamp on, and then we'll fill it back up and see if it leaks again. We got a new clamp on there. Seems like it's not leaking anymore. I'm gonna try and fire it up, see if we got any leaks. The batteries like to die on this. We shut the master off, but we'll see if it might start. Well, we ran it a little bit, don't see any leaks, and it had good charge pressure in the cab, so it seems like it's working all right. We're gonna go ahead and put this hood back on. When we took it off, we took the bolts out, got everything unhooked, and we set the front end in the loader bucket of the little Kubota, and somebody walked it up the steps and then set it in where it needed to go. It only has the 2 bolts here, and then this gas shock holds it up. It's a pretty simple design, so should go together pretty quick. Now just 2 bolts here for the hinge, and then once we get that on, we'll lift it up and we can get inside and get that gas shock and the light plug and the safety cable. So I just had to crawl in here and get that top bolt on the gas shock. Dad's working on the safety cable and the light plug. And then we got to put the front little bodywork bumper panel thing back on. This piece was a pain to get off because you can't hardly get in here to get the bolts. I don't know, it's kind of a silly design. You gotta almost break your arm out of its socket just to get in there. We got the bolts started, but now we can't get them tight. Not much room to work in there. Well, we got that job done. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty straightforward. There wasn't really any tricks to getting that thing out of there, except for getting those bolts out of that front bumper was kind of a pain, but glad that's done. I think we're going to try and put the floater tires on and maybe do an oil change before we get it out of the shop. We want to move it over to the storage. That way we got room for some other projects that we got coming up. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.